franchise that is the crux of why we are fans. The rich, amazing history of a team that reflects the attitude of this town's people and embodies the spirit of everyone sitting in these seats. But when we step back and look, there is one thing that from Philadelphia to Wilmington, from Haverford to Pennsauken, from Westchester to Allentown, cuts through it all and bonds us, every one of us. Every fall, it is the Eagles green that runs through the veins of the young and old, and the divides that exist between races and creeds, rich and poor, the 700 level and the lower bowl are all gone, and we are suddenly one.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 12 of Fandemonium here in the AATBIRDS and AAT Sports Network. I am Chip at Chip for the Birds, joined today by Mr. Sean Watson, who you might know as the winner of the PA Cave Crawl. He has the best man cave as sponsored by Parks Casino and voted on by the people of Parks Casino and fans and all that stuff. And we're going to show you all the great photos and videos of his fan cave and all of the Eagles that he has met, because my goodness. So we got a really cool one for you guys today. So we want to thank you all for tuning in. Sean, we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me
today.
Thank you for having me. Look, I'll just show everybody.
Just showing off that Super Bowl ring?
That's right. Got the Lombardi trophy right here for everyone, too. So.
Yeah, so I saw one of your photos. I didn't want to put this one up, but just how much did that Super Bowl ring cost you?
Well, it goes for, we'll just leave it like this, $30,600. That's
my God.
That's what I can get for it.
My God, because it is an authentic.
Yeah, I love it, man. Trust me, I love it. Listen, in the next 25 years, if we don't win the Super Bowl, that price value on that ring's probably just going to go up.
It's going to keep going up a little bit. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Look.
All right, so let's jump right into it then. So you've been an Eagles fan, I'm going to guess for a little while now. Yeah, so I want to ask you, what is your very first Eagles memory that comes into your mind?
We're going to go back to the Ray Rhodes era.
Okay.
But I mean, I can go back to Randall Cunningham, early 90s. I mean, I'm going to say, when the Eagles stopped, when the Cowboys called the first timeout, everyone probably remembers the Cowboys could have won the game. And everyone remembers that whole, controversial call. And Merle Reese, you could just hear Merle Reese just screaming. They stopped them. And then, the Cowboys are going to go for it again, which, the Eagles are just going to have the wall again. If everyone remembers that. And they ran it again in the brick wall, And, that satisfied win. I mean, that was I'm 34 years old. I mean, that's a long time ago for like an really excited memory that I wound up having. But I have 11 stadiums left to see them all. And honestly, my greatest win on the road is 2015. So, well, actually, I could say the worst game I ever seen on the road was the week before. It was on Thanksgiving. It was against the Detroit Lions. Calvin Johnson scored 3 touchdowns on the Eagles. The next following week, we had to go to Foxborough to play the Patriots. And my dad and my family members said, we don't want to go there. We're going to freeze in New England in December. It was actually like an anomaly. It was like 70 degrees in Foxborough early December. And the Eagles, they were a 10.5 point underdog. And if everyone remembers, like Malcolm Jenkins had a 99-yard touchdown. Darren Sproles had a punt return touchdown. The Eagles recovered a pooch punt. A friend of mine, his name is Shea Juratutu. He actually recovered the pooch punt. It's pretty cool. But and I remember it was just crazy how the Eagles, they won 35-28 in Foxborough. And I just remember the New England Patriots fans, because they're normally, they don't lose up there in the Brady era.
No.
And I just remember they were yelling at me. They were screaming, and everyone gives Philadelphia a bad rap.
Yes,
Oh
they
my
do.
God, dude, they were absolutely. I mean, talk about sore losers. They were sore losers. But listen. Everybody knows. Everyone always thinks the NFL is fixed and everything else. Something like that, losing to the worst team in football, okay, on Thanksgiving, and then going
badly too.
Dude, seriously, and then going to Foxborough the next week and beating the New England Patriots. I mean, let's think about that. I mean, so they were a good one bad memory, and then a week later we redeemed ourselves, and I had such a good memory because not too many people could say they won in Foxborough. They saw a win in New England against Tom Brady. So yeah, so they were two back-to-back memories that I had, recently in 2015.
So you mentioned that you have 11 stadiums left to go in your travels. So what is the one stadium that out of those 11 that you're looking forward to the most? And outside of the link, what's the best stadium you've been to?
Okay. Everyone's going to hate me to say this.
He's going to say Dallas. Oh, he's going to say Dallas. He's going to say Dallas.
Their stadium was incredible. But here we go. I saw a overtime victory in Dallas. I went there one time to Jerry World, and I saw a W. All right.
Okay.
It was when Jordan Matthews scored in overtime. Such a great memory because I went after the game. I went down there, and all the players were so happy. They were talking to everybody, taking pictures. Sam Bradford, everyone saw in there on one of the photos. But I got to meet Sam Bradford there, and he was so excited. And Sammy Longsleeve. Normally he don't talk to people, from what I understand, but he was cool. He was showing up. I mean, come on, man! It was a high. You just beat the Dallas Cowboys, national TV, Sunday Night Football, in overtime. So everyone's really excited for that. So Dallas, I would say I would say. Maybe because I was just on a high that they're the best, but the screen was incredible.
Right.
The stadium that I want to see that I haven't been there is Mile High. I need to go to Denver. I need to go to Denver. So that's cool. The stadium that I look forward to in the near future to go to.
All right. So that's your first, Eagles memory that you talked about a little bit. Yeah. You got to talk to us a little bit, and we have to exclude the Super Bowl. We've been doing that with all the guests because we kind of know, like, winning the Super Bowl, it's everyone's favorite memory. So outside of winning the Super Bowl, what is your favorite Eagles memory?
Oh my God. Can I mention three on top of my head?
Whatever comes to your mind, go ahead.
All right, because it was around Christmas time, everyone remembers, and the Eagles, it was a win in your in game, and they needed the Eagles needed everything to happen. Okay, it was like a 1% chance, something crazy. They needed like 4 different scenarios to happen, and then they get a win in your in game, which we know that we just blew the Cowboys.
We don't win those.
No, we don't. And we had B-Dog. It was 2008. I'll never forget it. So leading up to that game, I remember I took a bus trip. 2008. I took a bus trip down to Washington, and we lost a horrific game. If everyone remembers, Andy Reid had no timeouts, and we were stretching for the goal line. We didn't get it. We lost the game to Washington. It was cold. I remember I was freezing. It was cold. Bus drive home. We didn't have any heat. It was terrible. Everyone was wet. It was just a bad game, and we lost to Washington. And I remember that everyone, the season's over. This, that, the whole bit. And I remember we had to win in your in game, and everything went right. All the chips fell in line, and B-Dog had a hell of a game. And I remember, we won that game, but it was the last year. My grandpa, God rest his soul, my grandpa Charlie. I actually have a photo of me and him, and I have an Eagles helmet on. And it was a great moment because that was the last Eagles game that I got to see them, and we won the game. It was crazy. I actually thought that year we went to the NFC Championship game against Arizona, and we were pretty much one drive away from playing Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. if everyone remembers that. That was a big memory for me because it was all against all odds. We all knew what was going to happen in that game, and we had no chance even being in a winning or in game. We all thought that we were going to watch that game with nothing to play for, just to hopefully stick it to down. But we wound up winning the division and going on to the playoffs, and then going on to the NFC Championship game. So that was a big memory for me. Another one is Miracle in the Meadowlands.
Which one?
The second one.
Okay.
With Deshaun Jackson. I remember watching the game. This is before I had season tickets, by the way. But I watched it with my uncle, and I remember we were just getting blown off the map. And I remember Joe Buck, touchdown Kevin Boss. And the game was pretty much over, and it was like, they scored a 28, and it went up, and we had like 7 minutes left in the game, and then they didn't have a spy on Michael Vick. And then he just went off. He just took matters in his own hands. We came back. Matt Dodge kicked the ball to Deshaun Jackson. He muffed it. He took off like a bat out of hell and ended the game with no time on the clock.
I still can't believe he kicked it to him.
Dude,
I still can't believe he kicked it to him.
Oh, so that they were just a couple of memories that I had as like I said, I'm 34 years old, but they're, I want to say kids that are in the early 20s or whatever, they would remember that, a couple of them games. But they were just, come on, as an Eagles fan, them games go down as what, have to be top 10, right? All time?
Easily. And it's so funny that you mentioned those, because some of those games, like you mentioned something like Miracle at the Meadowlands, and we're able to have conversations about, where were you and how you were feeling. And I know that every franchise has those moments and those big historic wins. You can talk about, Franco Harris for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can do those. But like the Eagles fan base thrives on those moments.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a connection over those moments specifically.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that that's what this fan base has.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Dude, listen to me, and I'm not just being biased. Like I said, I've been all over the place. I've seen different fans, and there are really, really great fan base around.
Sure,
but we're so passionate. The travel, how we travel, A shout out to my friend, Philly Sports Trips, my buddy Vince. If everyone has a chance, please go online, book with Philly Sports Trips. You're going to have the time of your life. Okay. Go to see a away game. If it's a bus trip to New York, bus trip to Washington, I promise you guys are going to have. To be honest with you, I'm an Eagles season ticket holder. I usually go to 6 and 8. With everything going on with the whole pandemic, I go to at least 6 and 8 home games a year. I'm going to be honest with you, everyone's not going to like me saying this, but I have such a good time on the road.
Yeah,
and I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I love the home games and the atmosphere, but there's something about going to another opponent's house, having tailgates, drinking what they want to drink, go to these different tailgates. You're going to have bad fans. You're going to get hackled.
Sure.
But for the most part, man, it's such a good time on the road. I'm telling you, in the last couple of years, I've been a bigger fan of actually traveling and seeing other cities and stadiums and fan bases than even being at home. And I'm an Eagles season ticket holder. It's crazy for me to say that because everyone likes to be home in the link. But my God,
sure,
it's great. So yeah, man, please go online. If you're going to go to Green Legion, or if you're going to, fans of Philly, I only go to one. I go to Philly Sports Trips. Go online, book a trip, see for yourself, and you guys are probably going to agree with me eventually, saying, "Man, Sean's right. These away games are great. Oh my God, we're having such a good time." And you get to see different cities. You get to see what it's all about. So it's it's a great time on the road, man.
So you mentioned on being on the road, you mentioned being at home, but we got to talk about your home here for a second.
Yeah.
So I need to know a little bit about this competition.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this. How did you get involved? How did you get picked? What was the whole process like?
So there was, I don't know how many applications there were that submitted, but I can imagine that there was a lot. And from my understanding, because the NFL, what was presented to me, how I got selected is, so my friend reached out to me. He's a bartender actually at Parks Casinos.
Okay.
And I guess they were advertising or whatever. So anyway, he wound up sending me a link and saying, "Oh man, you need to reach out to Parks Casino," because he had numerous parties, in my basement. And he says, "Man, if you get in, you have a good chance of winning." So anyway, I submitted an application, and Parks Casino says, "Well, we want to see a 1-minute clip of your basement." So exactly what I did. I sent them a little snapshot. They got back to me. They said, "Okay, you're going to be one of 19 contestants that are going to be in this competition." And how they broke it up, I was contestant number 10, and then the guy that I was competing for in the championship, he's a very known Eagles fan. He's way more famous than me. His name is Barry the Hatchet. He actually has a movie, a Philadelphia Eagles movie, that everyone probably saw. Maybe next year. He's actually starred in that movie, and his fan cave is like, it's like Xfinity Live on steroids, dude. It's you could fit 250 people in there. It's incredible. But so what happened is Barry has a lot better, fan base than obviously me. I'm just a regular blue collar guy. And I went on, he went on 94.1. I went on 94.1 right after him. And what I said was, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm Nick Foles, and I'm going against Tom Brady. Who wouldn't want? Yeah, I threw it in there.
That was smart.
I had to throw it. I had to throw the uppercut. So I said, word for word, I said, I'm Nick Foles and Barry's Tom Brady. And pretty much I got some votes just off of that. I went on President Steve show, 93.3. They gave me a shout out. So, I said, pretty much vote for Delco over Reading. But a Friday, Barry actually was promoting his second movie. And he asked me to come out, me and my fiance. We came out there. We watched his movie. I met the cast. We're having a good time. We're taking pictures. And pretty much Barry said, because Sunday was voting time. So this was on a Friday, then Sunday, and then Tuesday, which was on my birthday, February 7th, I actually won on my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't listen to me. I didn't stage it like that. It just happened, And but what a class act he is. Barry, he immediately called me up, congratulated me. Unlike Tom Brady with Nick Foles, he congratulated me. But vice versa, if the shoe was on the other foot and I lost, man, I would have done the same thing. And he invited me to when the Eagles are on the road, he invited me to a game to see at he calls it the locker room. So we're gonna go out there to Reading. We're gonna see an away game, and him and I became friends. So but I was contestant 10, he was contestant number 13. Now if I was in his bracket, he would have beat me like in the first, because he had like the first votes, dude. He had like 1,200, 1,800 votes. He smoked everybody in the first round to what I got in the first round. But I won my bracket, and then he won his bracket, and then we went to the finals. And I pulled it off in the end. So hey, look, better be lucky than good sometimes, I guess, right?
That's how we hold it. That's how we hold a Super Bowl. So
exactly.
All right. Let's continue with our line of questioning then. So who is then your favorite Philadelphia Eagle? And it could be of all time, and why?
All right. So I'm biased right here. All right. So my favorite, if I had to pick talent-wise favorite all time, is Brian Dawkins.
Okay.
But I personally am friends with somebody. I'm friends with two Eagles players personally. Their jerseys are right behind me, actually. Ryan Matthews and Kenyon Barner.
Okay.
I got their game jerseys right behind me. All right, that's Kenyon's 2017 Salute to Service signed jersey right behind me. and that's actually a big time inscription of Kenyon's jersey. That is a Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
And then Ryan is, see if I can get out of the way real quick. Ryan is on the other side.
Your Super Bowl trophy. There you go.
There's Ryan right there. That's a game-worn jersey right there, framed. Me and Ryan there. So my two, like I said, if I was going to go with, who's the greatest all time, who's my favorite, it's Brian Dawkins. But on a personal level, guys that I know that was, they're good friends of mine.
Right.
Is KB and Ryan. They're just, you know what I mean? They're no longer Kenyon is a free agent, but I don't know if everyone knows this, but he's one of the rare that he has 3 Super Bowl rings with 3 different teams.
Wow.
I know he's you could say I don't know, he's now like a practice squad player, but when he played for the Eagles, obviously he was a starting punt returner when Darren Sproles got hurt. So he actually started in the Super Bowl, was on a 53-man roster when he won his ring. He won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, and he won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady in Tampa. So he actually has 3 rings. So he's a good friend.
He's the Robert Ory of the NFL. Seriously.
But he's a good friend of mine. He's loyal. Ryan, loyal guy. I actually talked to Ryan the other day. Reaching out to him. He's in San Diego. He's actually golfing today. I saw earlier him and his best friend Andrew Diaz are out in the golf course, celebrity golf competition. So I keep in touch with him. You know what I mean? We're just message me, hey man, what's going on? How you doing? So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm friends with these guys, but it's a hard question. If you had to put a gun in my head and say, Sean, who do you got to? I got to go with Brian Dawkins, obviously.
Right, he's the greatest Eagle of all time.
Seriously, Weapon X, game changer. I saw his whole entire career. So look, Reggie White. That whole thing with, we should have never let him go. First of all, he won a Super Bowl in Green Bay, but I love Reggie White, but keep in mind, early 90s, I was a little kid. I was a baby, I should say. But Brian Dawkins, I saw his whole entire career. So I had to say B-Dawk.
Yeah, and I got to agree with you. I mean, he is, without question, the greatest Eagle of all time. One of the top 100 players of the NFL of all time, if you ask me. I think when that list came out, he got a little bit screwed, but, what do I know? All right. So, look, you're speaking for this fan base. You got the cave winnings. You've met pretty much every single person who's ever worn an Eagles jersey. You've been everywhere. You've traveled with this team. So what is it about this team and this fan base that makes the Philadelphia Eagles the greatest organization and fan base in football?
Well, I'm not biased when I say this. The Eagles, the Philadelphia market alone is top 5. I mean, without anyone would say, if someone argues that, they're just hating on us.
Right.
We are not, like I said, not to be biased. We are top 5 market without a question. Okay, traveling, whatever. It's just fan base. We are, even if we didn't have a Super Bowl, we don't have a Vince Lombardi trophy, we're still top 5. Okay, with ratings, everything else. Traveling, man, it goes back to what I said. I guess you could say like the Steelers travel well. I mean, if you ever see on like Monday night football games, Sunday night football games, you'll see the terrible towels and all. They travel well. But a lot of these fan bases, to be honest with you, when they're bad, like I'll give you an example, Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we saw the 12s. Where's the 12 at? When you know what I mean? They're done.
And this is a rebuild year too, so that's going to be interesting.
So when you see the 12s, I mean, when they were winning and they had the Legion of Boom, you saw that fan base travel and they travel well. But are they fraudulent? I mean, you don't see the 12s no more. I don't see them because they're bad. If the Eagles, are 4-13, well, what I used to say was, I mean, other than the new game, would be 4-12. So when the Eagles, you were a 4-12 team. Right. You're still going to see the Eagle fan base, regardless of who they put it this way. We lost on Thanksgiving. Me personally lost to the Detroit Lions. I saw them get smoked. I knew, okay, we're probably going to lose in Foxborough next week. I'm a fan. even though in my head, I'm thinking we're going to get wiped off the map to the New England Patriots, I still am going to attend because I'm a fan. I'm a real fan. And there was
Correct.
and there was a lot of Eagles fans like me that attend that game, even though we're 10.5. That line, 10.5, meaning Vegas is saying the Eagles have no chance. They're going to get killed. We showed up.
We always do.
Fan base showed up, even if they thought we were going to lose. That's called being a fan. That is loyalty. We are loyal. We're loyal fans. We're always going to be there. I don't care if we win 1 game, 2 games, 4 games. We're going to be there, okay? Just mark it down. How many times did I see in my lifetime, the Chip Kelly era, how bad we were? We were still down there tailgating at the Lincoln Financial Field every Sunday. We're still there. Being a fan, man.
And it's funny. Most people say, the passion of it all. And again, I agree. We're a very passionate fan base, but the loyalty piece, I think, it cannot be understated.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles are a loyal fan base, and maybe a little crazed with our loyalty.
Yeah.
We expect things out of our players. That's why some guys just don't last here, whereas the other guys, they get it. They get what we expect from our players, our team, and those guys are the Dawkins and the long lasting guys.
Yeah.
Man, I could talk to you about this kind of stuff forever,
You
man.
and I, we could go on for hours.
We could go on for hours. So, all right, what is looking at this upcoming season and looking at what you're traveling and things like that? What is the thing you are most looking forward to, either on the field or off the field this season?
All right. So the 2 trips that I'm eyeing up first this year is Indianapolis. Well, I already saw Arizona. I never been to Houston. Houston is one of the ones that I had to mark off my bucket list. So I'll probably wind up going to Houston. But another one that I'm circling is Indianapolis. So I went to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game, Penn State versus Wisconsin. And probably, Penn State fans out there will remember this game. We were losing 21-0 at halftime, and we came back and we won the Big Ten championship. I saw it at Luke Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. That's the only time I've been in there. So I've really never been in there for an Eagles game. So the 2 games that I'm looking at is Indianapolis and Houston. Okay. Even though I could say I have been in that stadium, just not with an Eagles game. So I really don't count it. I have to go there for an Eagles game. So I'm looking forward to probably them 2 games. I went to Arizona. I saw an Eagles game there. Great stadium, great fans. I would love to go back there. That's probably the biggest away game actually on the calendar. The Cowboys game, you're really not going to go to because it's on Christmas Eve. I mean, who you want to spend?
Yeah.
You want to spend Christmas in Dallas, Texas? I don't.
I do not.
Exactly. So, as far as going to the games, they're probably the 2 games I'm going to be circling on my calendar. What I'm looking forward to for this season, honestly, I'm a realistic fan. We have a really easy schedule, but every time we say we have a really easy schedule, there's always letdowns. And this is me being realistic. I don't want anyone to hate on, oh man. Nah, I'm a realist. I don't think Hurts is the answer. I'm going to be honest with everyone. All the Hurts fans out there, I saw enough of them where I can say, everyone's saying, well, he only had 1.5 years, Sean, but give him a chance, all this stuff. Here's his chance. He has, A.J. Brown now, his best friend. He has Devontae Smith, which last year, Devontae Smith was open all the time. He couldn't get on the ball. All right. I think Jalen Hurts has a noodle arm. Okay. And if he listens to this podcast, Jalen, do not take it personal. You got to work on your arm strength. I don't know if he can work on his arm strength. He
I think if there's anyone that can, I think he would be the one to work through it. Yeah, I think his work ethic is incredible.
And I'm not going to argue that at all. The guy is he is a leader. I will say that he controls the locker room. All right. He's a very, very good role model. I will say that, obviously a lot of, he was like when he came on as the starting quarterback, I think he was the number 1 jersey sold, I think, in the NFL.
I think so.
It's something like that. So listen, role model, leadership, it's all there. Okay. If you go back, and I can actually send this clip to you later on, there's a clip by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the defensive coordinator, but the defensive line coach or whatever like that. And it wasn't Todd Bowles, but he said, keep on putting pressure on him. He can't read. Okay.
Right.
If you go back and you look in the regular season and then you look in that playoff game, Hurts didn't get into Tampa Bay territory till late third quarter. Think about what I'm saying to you. Late third quarter, he didn't reach Tampa Bay. He didn't reach the 49-yard line at Tampa Bay territory to the late in the third quarter. It just tells me, and I'm not saying that they were a juggernaut defense, but we were making them like they were being like the 2000 Baltimore Ravens or the 1985 Bears. You know what I mean? I hope I'm wrong. Listen, I hope the Eagles can win 12 games this year.
Yeah.
Ride through the playoffs. I'm going to be there. I'm a fan. I'm just a realist, man. I just don't see what Hurts. But you never know. He has all these talents, all these weapons around him. He could prove me wrong and all of a sudden work at it and become lights out. And then next thing I'm going, all right, well, we gotta sign this guy, because if he don't get it done this year, he's not going to be a starting quarterback next year. There's no excuses. So,
well, I'll tell you what. Look, that's a whole nother episode. I mean, we can definitely get you back on. We'll discuss, the layout of the season.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for joining us today on Fandemonium. This has been episode 12. And man, you got some stories and some stuff. So where can they find you on the social medias? Where can they follow you to do the things?
So you can follow me on my Instagram handle tagger is actually HCKY score 19. That is, it stands for hockey score. I was actually a big hockey player, but HCKY score 19 on Instagram. Facebook, you can see me. I'm Sean Watson on Facebook. I always, every time someone asks me for my Facebook and they type in SEAN and then just start doing Watson, I'm actually the first one that pops up. And I always say, I'm the one and only, I'm literally, because we have mutual friends. That's why I pop up. But I just joke around, just kid around with everybody and say, look, I'm the first one that pops up. I'm the real one. I'm the one and only, just joking around with them. But you can look me up on Facebook, Sean Watson. Hopefully, I'm the first one that pops up. My Twitter handle is same thing, HCKY score. I think it's 019. I think it's 019. Either 19 or 019, but I think it's 019 on my Twitter. But yeah, listen, I accept all our fan base, actually all fans, to be honest with you, all super fans.
Yeah, that's what this is
anybody. For. Yeah, dude, and anybody that friend requests me, I accept. That's just who I am. So, but
like I said, it's great. We appreciate you joining us today on Fandemonium. This has been episode 12 here on the AAT Birds and AAT Sports Network. We end every show here with a very positive and a very happy go Birds.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I hope you guys can have me back for sure. I'm going to show everyone one more time. Look at that.
Pretty.
All
that's pretty.
In there. Yeah, there's my.
Now we're getting you on for one of our special Wednesday shows where we actually break stuff down.
Anytime, man. Just you got add me on you get my phone number. You can slide right into my DM. But anytime you want, I don't care if it's one day a week. If you want to talk throughout the whole NFL season, week one, just one day a week we could do this.
Dude,
we could maybe have.
That's why I started podcasting, just to talk about sports.
Yeah,
we can apparently people listen.
Chris Romanelli, probably Jamie will get on there. We can have a 4-man screen. I don't care what we do, but it'll be a good time.
All right, brother, man. Hey, go Birds. We'll catch you.